Quick question. What always happens in a scary movie right before somebody dies? They always go somewhere alone. Someone has the great idea to like go check the basement and the other person's like, yeah, I'm gonna go check upstairs. And it's always a horrible idea. Why would somebody go into the basement when there's a killer on the loose? It makes absolutely no sense. I think we should like split up, dude. You know what? Yes. Mikey, hello? And we're at home watching this movie and we're thinking, this is ridiculous. Nobody would do that. Nobody would go down to the basement, ever, period. Wouldn't happen. And why do we think that? Because deep down, all of us know we are made for community. We're made to stay close to the people that we love, where we can care for each other and look out for one another. In a weird way, coronavirus is causing almost the same reaction as like a dumb, scary movie. Like, this is ridiculous. Why am I quarantined from the people that I love? Why is this happening? It's almost as if on a gut level, we know community is what we need. Which is precisely God's design. I mean, all you have to do is think about this youth room, the fact that I'm here all alone. What if I said, you know what? Not today, Corona. You're not going to win. Matter of fact, I'm gonna have Tuesdays by myself. I'm about to have a me party. Can you imagine doing Tuesday nights by myself? Like playing games by myself. Head, shoulders, butt, cup, yeah! One again, what? Worshiping by myself. Next slide! Doing small groups by myself. All right, guys, it's time for small groups, and just curious, like, what did you guys think about the talk? Input? Grace, how about you? Grace, what are you staring at? Oh, gotcha. Mo, stop. Mo, knock it off. Mo! Coronavirus really has put a spotlight on the fact that we need our people. We can't do life alone. We need a community. And this is truly what God has been saying from the beginning of time, that He makes the universe, right? He makes the ocean and the land and the trees and all the animals. He makes humanity. He calls all of it good. But there's one time when God says, actually, there's something that's not good. It's man being alone. There's no denying it. Now more than ever, we are realizing how much we desperately need our people, our community, because of quarantine. And matter of fact, I asked all of you guys to send in a little video as to who you're missing and why you're missing them. Check this out.
I miss Olivia and the big hugs she gives to everyone who walks in that door.
To me personally, I've been just really missing my leaders and their warm welcomes. They're always super nice.
I've been missing Ian Rand at youth group because she always makes me feel so happy, and I just love being around her.
I miss Gabby and her sweet, bubbly personality.
Again, these times have put a spotlight on the reality that we need our people, that we need community. But there's a few things that you guys have to know about community. Number one is this: not all community is the same. The type of community you choose to invest in matters. The type of people you choose to give your life to matters. It's kind of like the first week of school when you show up and there's all these different tables out and all these different clubs and their presidents behind the tables trying to convince you why you should join their club. And what is it that you're doing? You essentially are evaluating whether or not this club, this group is worthy of your time, is worthy of your energy. What is this? The croc kissing club?
Oh, yeah, mate. Want to be a croc kisser?
No thanks. Oh, wow, Reintegra. This looks cool. So you guys help with girls that have been rescued from human trafficking, huh? Like helping their hopes and dreams come to reality? That sounds amazing. Yeah, this looks great. Sign me up. The type of community you choose to give your life to matters because some communities are better than others depending on what they give their life to. But there's a second reason why the type of community you choose matters, and it's because you will become like your community. Example, when Gabby was 3 years old, she learned to ride a bike with no training wheels. Absolutely amazing. And why was that? It was because of the power of her community. I'll never forget going on a bike ride around Wanaka Lake and people were literally freaking out. Ah, gosh, it's like Chucky. But they were freaking out because they were witnessing the power of community. Why? Because Gabby's community was her family, her brothers. She spent all of her time, every waking hour with them, and she wanted to be like them. And so Jackson learned to ride a bike when he was 5. And Ethan learned to ride a bike with no training wheels when he was 4. And Gabby learned to ride a bike when she was 3, all because of the power of her community. She wanted to be like them. So if we acknowledge the type of community that we choose matters, and if we are honest with the reality that we will become like our community, then the best question to ask is, what community should I give my life to? And I would argue the community that we truly need, the people that we are made for, is God's family. It doesn't matter if you were born in Mexico, in North Korea, in Uganda, in the United States. This whole world is made for God's family. Everyone is welcome. Everyone is invited in. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that all of us could live with him, not only for an eternity, but also right here today, now that we can have a relationship with him today. So why is God's community, why is God's family the best? We're going to read a story out of John 13 where Jesus says, hey, this is what my family is like. And if you want to be a part of it, this is what you have to be like. John 13 verse 1, it was just before the Passover festival. Jesus knew that the hour had come for him to leave this world and go to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. The evening meal was in progress, and the devil had already prompted Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot, to betray Jesus. Jesus knew that the Father had put all things under his power and that he had come from God and was returning to God. So he got up from the meal, took off his outer clothing, and wrapped a towel around his waist. After that, he poured water into a basin and began to wash his disciples' feet, drying them with the towel that was wrapped around him. He came to Simon Peter, who said to him, Lord, are you going to wash my feet? Jesus replied, you do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand. No, said Peter, you shall never wash my feet. Jesus answered, unless I wash you, you have no part with me. When he had finished washing their feet, he put on his clothes and returned to his place. Do you understand what I have done for you? He asked them. You call me teacher and Lord, and rightly so, for that is what I am. Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. I have set you an example that you should do as I have done for you. Very truly I tell you, no servant is greater than his master, no messenger greater than the one who sent him. Now that you know these things, you will be blessed if you do them. Jesus' family, his community, is the best because it is founded upon God and his love for us. Because in God's family, we experience the type of love that we all long for, the type of love that we actually need. And I love how this passage starts because it starts off saying that he loved his own who were in the world. He loved them to the very end. His family is the best because of his love. It's like Jesus saying, I love you to the galaxies and beyond, to the very end of the universe. That's how much I love my people. And then Jesus is like, look, these aren't just some words, right? These aren't just some things that I feel that I'm telling you about. I'm actually going to live out this love for you. And it says in this verse that Jesus knew that the hour had come for him to leave this world and go back to his Father, meaning that Jesus knew it was time to die. He knew that he was going to the cross where he would hang on that cross for all of the world because of how much he loved them. because of how much he loves us. But before he heads to the cross, he says, let me show you my great love by getting on my hands and my knees and washing your feet. Which in Jesus' time wouldn't have been all that abnormal for people to have their feet washed, right? It would have been very common when you're walking around in sandals on a really dirty road that your feet would be constantly getting dirty. And so it was very customary as you walked into someone's home to have your feet washed, but your feet would be washed by the house servant. And so can you just take a moment and think about this for a second? The same person that made the stars and the galaxies, the same person that made the beach and the waves, the same person that designed the human heart and the human lungs, right? The same person that designed our brain and our eyes so that they could see. The same person that painted the sunset red and pink and orange and yellow. The same person that created food for us to taste and enjoy, like the fruit from the tree and the honey from bees. The same person that created romance and love and marriage and thought up babies. The same person who always has been, who lives outside of time, who always will be. Can you imagine that person stands before you? God of the universe, the creator of all things, and he gets on his hands and his knees and he washes your feet. He washes your feet so that you would know that you're loved, that you would know that he sees you, that your feet matter to him, that you matter to him. Has there ever been anyone with more power? No. Has there ever been anyone with more creativity? Never. Has there ever been anyone with more strength? Absolutely not. And that same person, God in the flesh, gets on his hands and knees and washes your feet. What he's doing by washing his disciples' feet is he's showing the disciples what his family is like. He's saying that in my family, there are no servants. Why? Because we all serve each other. We all love each other. Matter of fact, I am 3 in 1, right? God the Father, the Son, the Spirit. We have been loving each other, serving each other, caring for one another for all of eternity. This is just what we do. Matter of fact, this is why I think the cross was so difficult for Jesus, because for the first time in all of eternity, when he bore the weight of the world's sin, it meant he experienced hell. He literally was separated from the first time in all of eternity from the loving relationship with his Father, with the Holy Spirit. He was completely alone. And I think what Jesus is doing again for the disciples is he's saying, this is who the Father is. This is who I am. This is who the Holy Spirit is. We have been loving each other forever. And if you want to be a part of my family, this is just what we do. We serve each other. And that's the other reason why God's family is the best. It's because in his family, we learn to love like he loves. Right? We become like the people we choose to be around. And so in God's family, we watch how he loves people. We watch how he serves people, and we want to be like him. We're inspired to do the things that he does. We begin to love the way that God has designed and wants us to love others. And I love this interaction between Jesus and Peter, because Peter, he knows this is the Messiah. This is the person that God has been speaking about for forever. And he's here. He's before me. He's real, God in the flesh, the creator of all things. And he's going to get on his hands and knees and wash my feet. And Peter says, no, it's not going to happen, Jesus. I cannot allow you, of all the people, to get on your hands and knees and wash my feet. It's not going to happen. And I love Jesus's response. I love Jesus's response. He says, unless I wash you, you can have no part with me. Jesus is teaching his disciples. Matter of fact, he's teaching all of us. This is what my family is like. I desperately love my daughters, my sons. I love you. I'm getting on my hands and knees to wash your feet. And my hope and prayer is that you would see me as an example of how you're to love those around you. That I call you to love your brothers and your sisters, to serve them. That there's nobody greater, there's nobody lesser, that you guys all belong to me. You belong to my family. I hope to inspire you to love those around you. When the world sees this type of community, this type of family, when we experience this type of community, this type of family, it plucks a string in our heart. We know it to be inherently true, inherently what we need. We're gonna close by showing you a video and, in my opinion, a small taste of what heaven will be like, a small taste of what community should be.
To reach this milestone in my walk with Christ.
2 years ago, if you asked me, I never said I'd be getting baptized today. I was walking on my own in life.
I just wanted to do this because I've been through a lot in my life.
I feel like this is a great way to take my next step in my faith. I've learned a lot of what I need to let go of.
I'm just making the biggest step in my faith.
So I'm just overfilled with love and joy of God.
And I just know that this is what I need to do to walk closer with Jesus for the rest of my life.
He wants me to show people God and introduce them to Him.
I want a fresh start with Jesus. I feel like I've just grown so far away from Him and I just want a fresh start.
He's calling me to something so much bigger and so much higher than what I've been living.
I'm so ready to do this.
Yeah, I need to do this now, so let's do it.